Hello best learners, this is Mustafa here at Learn with the Best, and today we're going to be talking about Robert Greene's 30th law of power. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. In this video, I'm going to define the law for you, followed by a story from my past where I was the best man at a wedding, and then another story from a trip that I took to Japan. So here is the law. Your actions must seem natural and executed with ease. All of the toil and practice that go into them, and also all the clever tricks, must be concealed. When you act effortlessly, as if you could do so much more. Avoid the temptation of revealing how hard you work. It only raises questions. Teach no one your tricks, or they will be used against you. So, my best friend of over 20 years chose me to be his best man at his wedding. I was honored and I gladly accepted. I had a few responsibilities in the wedding, but giving the best man speech was by far my most important task. Usually there are two parts to a wedding, the day part and the night part. To keep it simple. You do all of the super important formal things in the day. Things like getting yourself dressed in formal attire, working with the wedding coordinator to make sure everything is going according to plan, doing all of the religious type things with the priest and the family, taking photos, coordinating all of the food, greeting and thanking people for coming, saying your wedding wows, and all these super important type things that are reserved for the day. And then there's the segue into the night where everyone is more relaxed, ready to have dinner and unwind with a little dancing. And so the best man speech is the segue between the events of the day and the events of the evening. This is the part that sets the mood for a nice and relaxed night full of good times and great fun. So going into this, I didn't really know much about giving a best man speech. I'd never done it before and I was unsure. And so like any self-respecting guy, I hopped on Google. I saw some good speeches and I saw some awful ones as well. The good speeches seemed effortless and smooth, but with the bad ones, you could tell. It just ruins the whole mood. The bride and the groom are upset and the guests are just sitting there awkwardly. And the whole thing has the potential of kind of spiraling into a huge mess. And so I knew that I had to absolutely deliver for my best buddy and his bride. I spent days crafting the perfect speech. I wrote, I rewrote some more, and then I rewrote again and again until I felt that it was perfect. You would think that writing the speech would be easy, seeing as how I've known him for over 20 years, but writing the speech was actually quite a challenge. It had to be the perfect speech that conveyed exactly how much my friend meant to me, all the while keeping it humorous and keeping it at an accepted length of about 3 minutes. I started with how we met, the foundations of our bond. I gave some backstory about how he and his bride had come together and how their love grew. After I delivered the speech, all of the guests gave me a round of applause and even a few whistles. I looked over to my buddy and he had a big smile on his face and his bride was happy as well. Throughout the rest of the night, I received tons and tons of compliments on my speech. All of the single ladies had their turn with me on the dance floor, and when the night was over, walking to my car, one of the guests was smoking outside and he stopped me. He said, "Hey man, that best man speech was the best I'd ever heard. The part about the Pokemon, man, that was hilarious." I said, "Thank you." And he responded, No, man, no, thank you. You're the one that should be thanked." I had delivered a great speech that seemed effortless, but in reality, it took a whole lot of effort. And the beauty of it is that nobody even knew it. And that's exactly how you want it to be. Now, let's look at my experiences from a trip that I took to Japan. But before we do that, I need your help with YouTube's algorithm. Please smash that thumbs up button below, because if you don't, then unfortunately YouTube is simply not going to show this video to anyone else. Please also subscribe and click on that bell icon, because if you don't, then again, YouTube won't let you know when a new video is uploaded. And if you want to transform yourself from a lamb to a lion, then check out my course pinned in the top comment below. I will give you the tools that you need for success, but you have to actually step up and put in the work on yourself. This course is not for everyone because the majority of the population are sheep, but for those very few of us who want to walk the path of a lion, this is the course for you. Okay, so I actually took a sabbatical to Japan in 2018. I visited Osaka, where I met and fell in love with a beautiful Japanese woman. I went to Nara and Kyoto, where I experienced the beauty of Japanese nature. And then I passed through the sleepy, beautiful city of Nagoya on my way to the bustling city of Tokyo. One of the things about Japan that really stands out to me is the work and effort that the Japanese put into everything that they do. When I was in Nara, I visited a handful of gardens. Walking through the trails, I appreciated the beauty of the trees, the flowers, the waterfalls, the mini islands, the old rustic structures that grew beautiful vegetation and moss. Everything seemed so beautiful and so natural. However, if you look at it closely, you understand that those mini islands were not natural, they were man-made. The trees were cut and trimmed in exactly the right places to make them look as beautiful as possible. And the old structures may have been picked and chosen among many because of the beautiful antique look and feel that they gave to the overall garden as a whole. Now, to the average person walking through these gardens, they would be amazed and astonished by the natural beauty without having ever understood that many people had to have worked on this garden, pouring many man-hours into perfecting every possible nook and cranny. And again, this is the whole point of this law, so that your accomplishments seem effortless. The end result is that the traveler, while journeying through these gardens, never suspects a thing. So after enjoying Nara, I went to Kyoto, and Kyoto is a beautiful old city for Japan. It's really the pride and joy of the country in that it celebrates its history. There are so many old castles and temples and shrines and neighborhoods that make you feel as if you've been sent back in time. And again, just like the gardens of Nara, the castles and temples of Kyoto don't just magically maintain that beautiful old traditional Japanese feeling. The average person passing through these places will not be conscious of the fact that there are many people who take great love and care in their work, maintaining this traditional feeling for all of the people who come and visit, foreigners and locals alike. And then finally, in Tokyo, on the busy streets of Shibuya, there are tons and tons of sushi restaurants. And no matter which restaurant you pick, the sushi is always delicious. My absolute favorite food on earth is sushi. Give me some sushi with spring rolls and a bowl of miso soup to wash it all down, and I am the happiest man on earth. I thank the gods for having created sushi and allowing me the honor of enjoying it to my absolute content. Now, I was in Japan when the horrible Category 5 hurricane Jebi came crashing in like an unwanted family member. And all I could think of while sitting in my hotel room, feeling the entire building swaying, was, guess it, yep, it was sushi. I had been locked up in my hotel room for hours and hours, and that craving for sushi was building and building and building. Finally, after it was all over, I walked out of my hotel, and on my way to get some sushi, I saw cars flipped over. I saw trees in places that no tree should ever be going, and I saw small children looking for their parents. But the only thing that I could think of at that moment was sushi. I think I spent like $50 on sushi that day. Oh my goodness. The whole point of this story is that the Japanese put so much effort into preparing this particular food. The fish has to be fresh. The rice has to be sticky. Every part at the meal has to be perfect. And it's always presented in a beautiful fashion. The chef puts his hard work and effort into this meal that the consumer may be completely oblivious to. And so, in summary, understand that there's no magic pill, no get-rich-quick scheme. Understand that you have to put in the work, your blood, your sweat, your tears. These are all ingredients into making something of worth. And the majority of the population does not understand this, right? And so to them, listening to an entertaining speech, walking through a beautiful garden, or enjoying a delicious plate of sushi is just another day. They don't understand the effort, love, and care put into every detail. And that's exactly how you want it to be. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope that you learned something new. Please support me by simply subscribing, smashing that thumbs up button below, and checking out my course pinned in the top comment below. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh boy, now I've got a craving for sushi.